Hey there, fellow narrow gaugers. This is Rick, and we're just finishing up getting 58 ready to go for the 2023 season. We spent probably the last 2 or 3 weeks straight on this, doing quite a bit of work to the locomotive now that the weather has finally broken and we've been getting some warmer days. Boy, we've done quite a bit of work, some changes, a lot of painting, to make the locomotive run a little bit better for this year. The first thing that we did was some adjustment on the valve timing. If you'll remember in some of the other videos, the locomotive had a bit of a offbeat exhaust. So we found a problem that was in the valves and corrected it. So hopefully that takes care of the problem. Another issue we had was turned out the left side rod is just a tiny bit long between the crank pins, and I think that was causing part of our problem with it kind of felt like when the locomotive was coming back down the hill with the brakes on, it would kind of pulsate. And I was thinking that it might have been the brakes, but I think it might have been that side rod. So we moved a shim around, and we're going to see how that works out. So we'll take a little walk around here, and I'll show you what we've been up to. The first thing that I've done is add a little counter here, basically an odometer. Kind of curious how many miles were put on this locomotive. So each digit on the counter is one revolution of the drivers, the 33-inch diameter drivers, which come and the circumference basically comes out to 8.5 feet. So every number there is 8.5 feet that we've traveled, and this works in both directions. So we'll be able to get a good idea of how many miles we put on this locomotive on an operating weekend, and also for the season. Let's see something else that we've been working on here. Let's go up into the cab. Oh, I have the duplex pump is almost completely installed. The steam line is in. The pump is mounted. We just have to work on the water end and the exhaust for the pump. Initially, this is going to be used for pumping water out of a line side tank into the saddle tank. The eventual goal is to use this as another means of injecting water into the boiler, but for right now, I just want to make sure that it works, so we're just going to have it set up to pump water and then work on that later on. So we put that line in here that comes off of what used to be the blower valve, and then we've moved the blower line over to come off of what was the steam brake down to this valve here. So this will activate the blower now. Also changed out the sight glass. The old sight glass was a double-sided sight glass, which we didn't need, so we put this new one in. The double-sided sight glass will at some point be mounted right here as a secondary, and that'll be for the engineer, so that both the engineer and the fireman can have a good line of sight on the sight glass for the water level. Something else also did was to move the steam gauge back here above the back head. This will allow the fireman to see the steam pressure. I'm going to see here once we get the sight glass in. I have another gauge. I might put another gauge back up in there if it looks like I'll be able to see it with the sight glass and everything installed, because I like having the gauge right there. I like being able to see it. I can see it up there, but it's not as convenient. So we might go ahead and do that at some point. I didn't really make any changes to the controls here. Boy, we've been parked here for a couple hours. We still have 40 pounds of pressure on the brakes, so that's a good sign. Let's see, what else have we've been up to here. Oh, well, the one big thing we've added to the side is a access door. It's always been difficult to get in over here to take care of any plumbing issues because of the lack of clearance, and even worse with the duplex pump. So we added a door, and the door is right here. I just have to get a couple more fasteners in the morning to finish mounting the latch, and then that door will go on. And as you can see, it's removable, so if we're doing any work, we can just pull the door right off. Another thing I've added is finally put the numbers on the left-hand side. We went through and cleaned the rods. You know, there was a lot of grease and grime on everything. I went through and cleaned everything up. Everything looks a lot better now. We went through the saddle tank, on the inside of the saddle tank, cleaned it out, and coated it with material called Apexior. It's A-P-E-X-I-O-R. Apexior number 3, which is a coating that's designed for use in cold water applications, such as the inside of steel tanks. And most steam locomotive operators out there coat the insides of their tenders with it, so I found a gallon of it and we did the inside of our tank. There's another Apexior that's made that actually you use to coat the inside of the boiler itself. It'll withstand hot water, and that's a way that you can help preserve the inside of the barrel of the boiler. I don't know if we could ever do it on any of ours. Our boiler's kind of small to try to get in, even without any tubes. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much what we have going on here with 58. She's ready to go. We're going to do a test fire up this weekend. Well, actually tomorrow. We're going to put water in it and do the hydro test, and you know, tighten any loose fittings or do any last minute you know, adjustments that we need. Probably we'll fire it tomorrow. Once we do the hydro test, then we'll put a fire in it and warm it up and get a little steam pressure, and we'll see if we have any steam leaks. And basically just to make sure everything is in good shape. And then Saturday we'll fire up again, and we'll run it basically all day with our volunteers here to put her through her paces and see if any other issues develop. If nothing develops, no other problems to take care of, then we know the locomotive is going to be good for starting of the open season in about a month or so. Let's see, anything else for the good of the order? I don't think so. Not much else. I can show you what we've been doing out front here. So last weekend we came out and jacked up this track, and if my load of stone comes in tomorrow, we will spread some ballast out here on Saturday and tamp it with the track up where it needs to go. Then we'll move the caboose up to where it needs to go, and then we're going to put our wood platform around here. As you can see, we've gotten rid of the gate and the fence here, and it just makes this all look a lot more open in here for our visitors and for train operations. So, all right, that's all I have to report for today, and be expecting a video here soon with video of 58 in operation. All right, take care, everyone.